Having made the Christmas cake, welcome back, because I'm going to make the Christmas pudding. As I mentioned when I made the Christmas cake, my favourite book for using at Christmas for many years has been this. It's really old. It's Delia Smith's Christmas, and you'll see probably by the state of it that it's been well used. But her traditional Christmas pudding I have made for years, and it comes out perfectly every year. And if I didn't make the same one, the family would never forgive me. But the trick with making a Christmas pudding is getting everything ready. So I've prepared all the ingredients, and you can see them all in front of me. So I'm going to talk you through as I put them in. As I say, it's Delia's Christmas pudding recipe. You can find it anywhere. The only variation I make is I don't put nuts in it. Not because anyone's allergic to nuts. It's just that we've got a couple of people in the family that don't like nuts very much, so I don't put nuts in it. And actually, I'm not that keen on nuts myself in a Christmas pudding. So the first thing we're going to do is combine all the dry ingredients. So the first of those is vegetable suet. Get mine from Tesco's, you can get them from all the supermarkets. And then there's just a small amount of self-raising flour. Some white breadcrumbs. To do breadcrumbs, I just, whenever I've got some white bread left over, I crumb it up, put it in a bag, and then just pop it in the freezer. And when I need it, I can pull it out. So that's the breadcrumbs. And then there are spices to add. So mixed spice. I have a big pot of this. We get to go to the cash and carry every so often. And it's worth having a big pot because, especially this time of year, I'm going to get through a lot of mixed spice, as you will see as we get towards Christmas. So mixed spice, I think it's just one. I'm just going to check the recipes again because it's really important I get this right. I've measured out a lot of the things. 1 level teaspoon of mixed spice. So that's my mixed spice going in. Then we need a grating of nutmeg. Again, always use the fresh nutmeg. It gives a much better flavour. I do have the grated if I want to just find one, but because, as I've said before, someone in this family really likes nutmeg, and I've put a good grating in. I think it said 1/4 teaspoon in the recipe, but I just put a good grating of that in. And then we want a pinch of cinnamon, so that's just, that'll do for cinnamon. A pinch of cinnamon. And then we've got dark brown sugar. Dark brown sugar is what gives that lovely flavour to it in terms of the sweetness and the sort of richness. So all those dry ingredients go in, and then we need to mix that all up so it's well mixed through. I didn't sift the self-raising flour. It's coming out. It's most of the bags these days, it doesn't need sifting, and it was very fine, so I didn't need to sift it. Right, so we're going to mix all this together until I've got that all mixed up. The sugar's the main thing because it does tend to, especially when the dark brown sugar, does tend to get a bit clumpy. So here we go, breaking up that sugar. And you do need the biggest bowl you can find because there's an awful lot in a Christmas pudding. Right, I think that's a bit of sugar there to break up, so that's now all mixed in. Right, so now we've done that, now we're going to add the fruits to it. So I've already weighed out the currants, the raisins, the sultanas, and the dried peel, and that's all in here. So that's going in. And then it's a small chopped cooking apple, which I've chopped up before because I didn't really think you want to watch me chopping up apples. So small cooking apple in as well. Let's just mix that in, and then I'll add the zest of the orange and the apple is what adds. It really does give a moistness to the Christmas pudding. And as I say, this recipe just works. It's so good. You just need to make sure you've got it well mixed in, which is why you do it in the stages of the dry and then the fruit. Right, and then we just want some zest. So my lovely new zester. I'll try not to grate half my finger as I did the other day. So we want lemon and orange zest. So It's all to do with this thing with my arm that damaged my nerves in this hand, which means I don't grip things as well as I used to, but it doesn't stop me. Right, so a bit more of the lemon zest there, and then the orange zest as well. This zester is just, I'm so used to having to grate away for ages on my old one. This one swipe over and you've got the zest. So be careful, because if I do too much, I'm going to get the pith as well. So it doesn't take long at all with this new zester. So I highly recommend it. If you're going in anyone near ProCook and you want a good zester, this is brilliant. I'm really pleased I got this before we started all this Christmas stuff. Not very MasterChef, but it would do. And the bottom line is I just love making all this. I love on Christmas Day watching the family enjoying what I've made. So right, I think that will do for the bit more there. We can probably get off. Right, just get that in. Get that in as well. So that's all the fruit and the dry ingredients. And then to hold it together, there's some lovely bits. So, to hold it together, we have stout. I use Guinness. The nice thing about this, I actually love drinking Guinness. So the good thing about this is that I've now got quite a bit of a can of Guinness left. It's only 1/4 of a pint in there. And then we have a couple of tablespoons of rum. And that's something else we always have around this house, because both Mike and I love rum. So, and then to help bind all that together, we need a couple of eggs. Right, so whisk all that together. And this is the liquid that holds it all together. So provided you've got all the ingredients, the trick is to get it all sorted before you start. Otherwise, check it off on the list, because otherwise you find that you've forgotten something. So tip that into the middle there. And now the hard work of getting it all to come together. Smells lovely, especially with the rum and the spices. Rum and spice together with the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the mixed spice. It just smells so Christmassy. It's lovely. Sorry, I can't share the smell with you. Right, so that's all mixed together now. Right, so now that I'm going to leave in that bowl. Oh, I wish you could smell it. It's absolutely divine. Go leave that in there overnight, cover it up with a tea towel, leave it, and then tomorrow I'll show you how I steam my Christmas pudding. Oh, I wish I could eat it now, but it won't be very good now. I need it cooked. Roll on Christmas Day. Right, so it's actually now 2 days later. I've left this over 2 nights. It has had a couple of stirs, and so that's what we're going to do now, is give it another stir. Some of you may know that there is a tradition to the Christmas pudding, and that is that it should be made on Stir Up Sunday, which is the last Sunday before Advent, which is normally towards the end of November, this year 23rd November. And the idea is that everyone in the family should have a stir of the pudding. So I'm just going to ask Mike to come and have a stir of the pudding for me. I don't have any other family here. Last year the kids were queuing up to have their go, but there's just the 2 of us in the house these days, so it's just me and Mike. But Mike will give it a good stir. And while he's doing that, let me just explain to you about Stir Up Sunday, because everyone probably thinks it's named after stirring up the Christmas pudding. But actually the tradition of stirring up the Christmas pudding comes from actually the first Sunday before Advent, the collect. If you're in a Church of England, or if you know any church history, you'll probably know that there's certain prayers and readings that are done on different days. And there is a collect, the beginning of the collect for the first Sunday before Advent, if I can get my phone to open up and not play around this morning. So the first Sunday before Advent is this: Sorry, it's just going to, so it's, sorry, I've just lost it. I had it all open ready and now I lost it. Let me get it up again. It says, stir up, O Lord, the wills of your faithful people, that they bring forth, sorry, I've got to just lift my glasses, my eyes can't see it right, that they bringing forth the fruit of good works made by you be richly rewarded through Jesus. Amen. And so that collect was then linked to stirring up the pudding and bringing forth good fruit, because what is a Christmas pudding if it's not an awful lot of fruit? So there's a little bit of history for you and a little bit of background. As I say, 23rd of November, Stir Up Sunday. I'm making mine a little bit before because actually we're not going to be around much on the 23rd. We're out for most of the day, so I've done it a bit earlier. Right, so that's all ready. Pudding basin, 2-part pudding basin, or you could do a couple of small ones. If you don't have so many people, you want to make smaller ones, you could do that. I probably still, and I do keep these from year to year. I think I've still got 1, maybe 2 in the cupboard from previous years. They keep from year to year, but this is the fresh one for this year. I need to just grease the bowl because we don't want it sticking in the bowl when it comes to it. I'm going to grease all around that bowl. And then the trick that I didn't learn for many years, and used to keep having my pudding stick in the bottom of the bowl, is to have a little square, a little circle of greaseproof in the bottom, which means it doesn't get vacuumed in the bottom. So I'm just going to easiest way to get a circle. I can fold it. Okay. Not quite circular, but that would do. That just means it goes in the bottom there and holds. Just push it down so that the greasing of the bowl holds it. And that means it won't stick to the bottom of the pan. And then, it's quite heavy as a Christmas pudding, this all goes into there. Down into the bowl. Right, now I'm just going to go and get what I need to top it with, and then I'll be back to you to do that. So the next thing we need to do is to top the pudding, and to do that you need a piece of greaseproof. You want to make sure that it's big enough. Oh, that is so heavy, to go right over, so about there I think. And a little bit more. And I want the same amount of foil. I'm getting towards the end of my roll of greaseproof, so it's getting very curly. So I might struggle a bit to lay that foil on top of the greaseproof. And then we want to put a fold in this to give it some space for the steam to rise during cooking. So fold it there, fold it over again so it's got a bit of a pleat that will give. And then we're going to put that over the top of the bowl. Stop my greaseproof rolling it up. And go down over the bowl. And I'm just going to trim that up because I've got too much there. And this curly greaseproof is going to be a bit of a problem, I think. Let me just see if I can get it to go under the bowl for the moment. I don't want it under the bowl, but I'm going to hold it down. And then we're just going to scrunch that all down around the edge. And And then I need this piece of string, so I've doubled up a piece of string because I find that's easier than trying to tie it round with a knot, although I might still need Mike's help in a minute to hold it for me, I'll see. Put that round, put that through there so you've got like a lasso, and then you can pull that out round the bowl. Until you've got it round the outside of the bowl, nearly there, that's it. And then you, oh sorry, I've just lost the end again. Let me just do that again. This is always very fiddly, so I have a fear this might be a bit fiddle. Sometimes you can do it straight away, and other times it just takes a little bit of sorting out, but I think we're there. Right, so put it down. Mike, could you just come and hold that down there for me, just so I'm not fiddling? Just hold it on that end there, that's fine, thank you. I probably have got this just a little bit too short. Oh, no, it's okay, that's right. Through and out to show you. Thank you. Okay, so you pull it through there. Pull it really tight so it's holding it onto the bowl. Bring it up under that rim. Hold it really tight there. And then bring it round there to make a knot. Or just to hold it in place really. So lock it like that. And then you just tie a few knots in this so it won't it won't usually unravel anyway once you've got it in place. But right, here we go. Right, I'm just going to trim off a bit of this excess because I did go over the top. As you've heard me say before, I always rather have more than less because you can always get rid of the extra, whereas you can't add to what you haven't got. So, take this off. Right, now, while I'm just doing this, let me just tell you how I now steam it. Because in the old days, it was a pot of water with a steamer on top of the hob for hours and hours and hours. Because you do need to steam it for a long while. This needs 8 hours, but I steam it in my slow cooker. I have a large slow cooker that will take this size. So the next thing I do is put that into the slow cooker, and then what I'm going to do is fill that up with water to about halfway up, boiling water to halfway up the bowl. Put that on in the pressure cooker, and then during the day it needs to be on there for 8 hours at medium. Depends what your settings you've got. Some will have high and low, others will have high, medium and low. If you've got a high, medium and low on your slow cooker, at a steaming point all day, as I say, it'll be on for 8 hours. So I'm just going to put the boiling water in here, put it on the pressure cooker, and then later today when it's ready, I'll show you when I take it out of the pressure cooker. Not pressure cooker, slow cooker, what am I talking about? You can pressure cook it as well, but I like the slow cooker because I don't really have to worry about it. The slow cooker's safe all the time it's on. So that's what I'm going to do. So I took this out of the slow cooker last night just to correct what I said when I was putting this together. It goes in the slow cooker at high, which is what means steaming it. I didn't really need to add much water. I had one little bit of water in the last couple of hours just because I was worried it was getting a bit low, but it didn't go dry at all. So 8 hours at high in the slow cooker. If you haven't got a slow cooker, then you can put it in a steamer, but obviously you will have to keep replacing the water in a steamer because it doesn't regenerate its water like the slow cooker does. So putting it in the slow cooker means I could leave it. I left it in there when I went out to church and she came back. So the slow cooker makes it very much easier. So when it came out last night, it was hot. You need to let it completely cool. It domed by the time I took it out, and then it will settle down again. Now it's cool, I can take this covering off. So I'm just going to, actually I think I can just ease this behind it. And there we have one lovely Christmas pudding, all right? So what I need to do now is to replace this, because obviously this is full of all the gunk where it was cooking and where it steamed, although I have to say this year it seems to have cooked really well. So I need to prepare another one of those, tie that over. So I've got another piece of foil. I'm just going to do the same as I did before. Fold that as I did before. Over the bowl, and I'll secure that with string. I'll do that afterwards so I don't waste your time doing what I've already done before. And then when that is secured, I'll put it away in the larder. And then Christmas Day, it just needs about 2.5 hours back in the slow cooker to heat it up and regenerate it. If you haven't got a slow cooker, you can do that on a steamer. But on Christmas morning, I need every hob I've got to do all the other things. So having the slow cooker bubbling away with the Christmas pudding is lovely. And of course, it does mean that once it's done, I just turn it off. It keeps warming there until we're ready to have our pudding, which is usually quite a long while after our dinner because we eat a lot at Christmas. So I'm going to do that, put it away. That's the Christmas cake and the Christmas pudding stored away, ready for Christmas. And then I can not have to worry about the cooking elements of Christmas for a while. It'll be on to sewing next, I think. Well, hope that's helpful. Have a go. Delia's pudding, I will put the link below to the recipe so that you can do the same. As I said when I did it, I don't put the nuts in, but you can add nuts. See you soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe.